everyone, it's Kelsey here, and today I'm going to share with you part 2 of my mermaid canvas that I made. And I have all the links below to part 1 of the video and also to the original video where I got this idea because it was definitely not my original idea at all, but I thought it was so pretty and I just had to remake it. So I started out, I had a little strip of that gold star vellum that I think it's from the Bright and Pear collection by Studio Calico, and I just had a little strip of it on my desk, so I decided to roll it up and put it in a little bottle from, I think it's from Tim Holtz. I've had them for a while, but I just thought it would kind of look like a message in a bottle, and it would just be like just a pretty cute thing to put on the bottom of my canvas whenever I finally get going here. Because right now this has been the time-consuming part. I've painted and I've put paper on the background and I had to wait for everything to dry, and now it's time to start embellishing and just getting everything kind of finished up. So it was a long process to make this canvas, between making the mermaid and getting all the embellishments ready and painting everything and Mod Podging. And so I am just super excited to show you guys how I'm finishing this up. So I just spread a layer of gesso all over the layout just to kind of dull the colors, just to kind of whiten them, I should say. And what I have here is some tulle. And my Walmart luckily has a really great fabric section. So they had tulle in all different colors, and I chose, I think it was a shade of blue and 2 different shades of green, because I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go. And this is super cheap. I got 1/8 of a yard, which is not much at all, and I still had a ton left over. And like I said, I just got it in 3 different colors. I think it cost me like less than $2 to get all this tulle, and since I have leftovers, I can put it on another project, or in a scrapbook layout, or in a mini album, or on another mixed media project. So I just kind of wanted to layer it onto the background to give it some texture and dimension and a little bit of color. Originally I was trying to find some like netting or some like just like fishnet type material, and I even looked in like the stockings to try to find fishnet stockings, and I was looking at packaging, and I looked in the fishing aisle. I could not find net anywhere in my Walmart, and so I came up with kind of tulle as a way to add some texture and a way to add that like net feel. So now I'm spraying the background with some teal and navy color shine and a little bit of goldish, I think it was gold by Studio Calico. And as soon as I sprayed that navy, I was like, uh-oh, what did I just do? I really did not like the navy at all, and I got super scared, so I kind of dabbed it off, and I liked the way the dabbed off look was working, so I kind of dabbed it and smeared it all over. And then I got to this other point where I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I don't like this. So I was trying to dab more of it off, and then I decided to add more of the teal spray in and hope that that was going to fix it. So this is definitely the point in the project where it looks worse before it looks better. In a lot of my major projects, like mixed media style projects, I do get this feeling where I'm like, this is ugly, I don't know what I'm doing, and you just got to keep rolling and trying to fix it. So in Gabrielle's video, who is the inspiration source for this, she outlined the edges with some brown, I think it was chalk ink, but I didn't have any brown chalk ink, so I went with distress ink. And this is another point where I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? This looks horrible. I'm just scared. Should I give up? But again, you just have to keep playing with it. So I just used a makeup sponge, which you definitely do have to be more careful of, because the makeup sponge is harder to control where the ink goes, and it gets a little bit more saturated, so it can be a little bit nerve-wracking of a process. So I decided to go ahead and paint over with some more gesso, and I kind of made it look white and streaky on purpose. I didn't try to blend that out, and I actually do like the way that looked. I'm feeling like it's starting to come together and kind of look more oceany. So I'm using a little bit more Mod Podge to adhere some of the tulle. And at first I had tried to keep the tulle really flat, but as I went along it was harder because everything was wet and gooey, it felt like. And it kind of crumpled up a little bit or got smushed, and I just rolled with it, and I like the way that came out. So here I'm just trying to figure out kind of where I want to start placing things, because it's getting to be that exciting time where it's all going to finally start coming together. So I think I'm actually cleaning my brushes a little bit off camera right now. Yeah, I'm getting some water to soak them in. And there's definitely some drying time that you have to take in, to consider, because this did take a while to dry in between layers, and since I didn't have like an embossing paste or a modeling paste or texture paste or whatever you want to call it, and since I had used a different medium, that stuff took forever to dry. So I definitely had to wait overnight for a lot of the stuff to dry. So, and I almost wish I would have waited longer for it to dry after I put the gesso and the tulle on there, because everything, like I said, everything got just a little bit sticky. So here I'm trying to decide what to use to glue my project together, because that mermaid is a little bit heavy. It's made out of clay, and it's fairly thick, and it's long, so I was just trying to decide what would hold it on the best. So I did end up going with the glossy accents, which seems to be my go-to glue lately. Even with paper, it just seems to work the best. And I have to say, I made this mermaid project about 2 weeks ago, and the glossy accents is still holding up really, really well. And here's where I broke the tail and I had to fix it. So I'm just trying to kind of smush it into place there to make sure that it's going to stick to the mermaid and also to the canvas at the same time. One thing that I did off camera was I altered a lot of these little jewels that I had. And if you want to know more, just ask me a question in the comment section and I can answer you there. I can always make another video. But I picked up this copper wire, and I thought it would kind of look like just wire or junk at the bottom of the sea. That's kind of what I was going for here. I've got the message in a bottle, and I've got some jewels and some like charms that are supposed to look like sand dollars and seashells. And so I'm just trying to make it a mermaid scene, make it a sea life scene at the bottom of the ocean. So one tip that I got was to leave the Tombow Mono Multi-Glue on the back of what I'm gluing and let it just kind of sit there for a minute. So I did that with the seaweed, but for some reason I decided not to do that with the letters, and they kept moving around, so I'm going to have to fix that later. But for now I'm just trying to glue everything in place and kind of get the letters the way I want them to. But here I did put the seaweed down, and oh yeah, the other thing that I was going to tell you is, so with the little rhinestone jewels, I normally don't like rhinestones, it's just not really my thing, but I decided to do a few of them, and I colored them with some Copic markers, and I just did that off camera because I knew it was going to take some drying time and experimenting, so I just already did that. But basically I just colored the rhinestones with some different colors of Copic markers, but they can't be very light colors, so I tried to go with like a pink and a yellow, but they didn't show up at all, so they're mostly like a darker blue and darker green. And I got the copper wire in the jewelry section at Walmart, and that's actually where I got a lot of the charms. I got that little pink rock that you see at the bottom of the screen, or at the bottom of the canvas, the copper wire, the rhinestones, the wood letters. I got so much of my stuff at Walmart, and it really made this project more affordable and more accessible. And I know not everyone has a great Walmart as far as like arts and crafts and supplies goes, because I've lived near Walmarts that are horrible, but luckily the Walmart that I do live near has a great fabric section, a great jewelry section, and a pretty good like scrapbooking, wedding, floral section. So I was able to find so much stuff without having to go out of town. And I did go ahead and re-adhere those letters with glossy accents just because the Tombow Mono does not hold very much. So I'm pretty much going over most of the things with glossy accents. And I don't know if that's because the background was Mod Podged, or if it's just because glossy accents holds better, or what, but it did make it easier that the glossy accents dries clear. And sorry, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm doing everything all at once here. So here I'm just placing down some of these charms, and again, I found those charms in the jewelry section. I also found the bag of pearls in the jewelry section, and they're all different colors that I thought would go with the sea life. And the little jewelry charms came in like a silver color, and they did have a little like loop on them so you could put them on a necklace or a bracelet or whatnot. And my dad was actually able to cut the little loop off for me with some kind of tool. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but he did that for me. And I used a little bit of distress paint. I used some various colors of distress paint and just kind of laid it on the charm, let it dry for a minute, and then kind of rubbed it in and rubbed it off. And I had varying levels of success with different colors of distress paint, and also I think it had to do with how well the charm had like texture and detail to kind of hold that paint and trap that paint in the crevices. But it's hard to see in this video, and it's even kind of hard to see in the picture, but the charms do have some orange tints and white and blue, like I said, because I just used some various distress inks, or distress paints, sorry. And here I'm just trying to figure out where I want my little message in a bottle to go, and again, I just use glossy accents to glue that on. And then I got some of these seed beads, and I've had them for a long time, and I thought maybe I could put those as like little details somewhere, but they were really too small to work with, and they were just a little too brightly colored. So I'm definitely going to work with these pearls though. Again, I got these in the Walmart jewelry section, and there's some like darkish, almost black ones, and some coppery ones, white, cream, silvery, so they came in a wide variety of colors, and I just loved them. And I decided to add a lot of detail to the mermaid's tail with all these little pearls and the glossy accents, and I just can't say enough how the glossy accents actually held everything in place. I was really worried that a week later everything was going to like pop off the canvas, but it's really held together so well. Although my hands were sticky and paint covered for like 2 days, even though I washed them over and over and over. It just, I think I had just so many layers of glue and paint that my hands just stayed sticky and painted. But this is about going to wrap up this canvas, so I hope you enjoyed this, and this is just a little something that I made for my scrap space that I can't wait to hang up. So I'll have a picture over my blog, and I just can't wait to see you guys over there. If you haven't subscribed yet, please become a subscriber and hit the like button if you like this video. It really helps me out a bunch. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you again soon.